Welcome back to the High Tempo Podcast, everyone. Episode 54 this week. And what a great day today is. Today is a day that me and Easton have been waiting for quite some time now. Would you like to let everyone know what the day is today?
Today is the biggest day in Pistons fan history for us.
If the intro didn't ruin it or spoil it already.
It's NBA draft night. I am so excited to see what happens in the draft.
I am so excited.
We're watching it together, as best friends should.
As you can tell, we're dressed up as if we were getting drafted.
I already got drafted.
And if you look at it right now, we just got drafted. I'm going to the Pistons. Hopefully LaMelo Ball puts on this very hat tonight.
I get to go to the LA Lakers and go play with LeBron James, the greatest player of all time.
I would really like for LaMelo Ball to be wearing this hat at the end of the night tonight.
Yeah.
Because me and Easton have just been talking a lot about LaMelo Ball, and we both really want LaMelo Ball to end up being a Piston, but, you know, the more I've been thinking about it as the day goes on, I really don't know if the Pistons are going to be able to trade up.
I've come to the conclusion that I don't think the Pistons will be able to trade up. And it hurts a little bit because we've discussed we are going to be huge fans of LaMelo no matter where he goes.
Exactly, yeah. I'm going to be a big LaMelo fan no matter the team.
I'm really hoping he doesn't go to the Hornets. That's the one team I don't want to see him playing with.
And that's the thing, too. It's about, in the NBA, I don't really have a team that I, hate. It's not like the NFL where, I have teams where I, will never root for by any circumstances. The NBA, I really don't. So, I won't mind getting a jersey of any team, really.
I think the reason for that is the Pistons have never been, fighting for, a playoff spot or even in the playoffs against a team for us.
The Bulls is, the only rival the Pistons really have, and it's just that was just not such a long time ago.
Yeah,
too.
we weren't.
It's not a historic rivalry at least.
Well, it's hard to have a historic rivalry when it's in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, exactly. It's not really the divisions don't really matter. But,
and they only met once in the Eastern Conference Finals.
So we're gonna talk more about the draft here, but I want to talk about all the trades that have happened so far, because we have yet to meet since Saturday, and trades got to be able to be done Monday at noon was the start. So, but yeah, just a quick outlook of how the episode's going to go today. We're going to talk about all the trades that have gone down so far, along with trades that we might think are going to happen or would like to see happen, some more rumors, and then obviously we're going to do our Week 11 NFL picks, and we have another power ranking of the NFL 3.0 NFL power ranking. So are you ready to get into these trades?
I'm ready. Ready as I'll ever be.
First trade was a blockbuster one. One that hit home. Bruce Brown got traded from the Detroit Pistons to the Brooklyn Nets for Musa. I don't even know how to say his first name, but
that was
he's
so
just Musa.
Misleading. I did not think you were going to say Bruce Brown.
That was the first one.
I know. I forgot about it because it's not a big deal.
It is to me. I loved Bruce Brown.
Yeah, I did too, but
I think the Nets were doing it honestly just to clear up cap because they gave the Pistons a 2021 second round pick as well. And Bruce Brown, he is a pretty good defender, but he's not really much better than Musa. So I think it's a salary cap type of thing.
Salary dump.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a big difference, but it's just it's maybe something that
enough to get James Harden or something like that.
So, but when the trades actually started, pretty much, I mean, the first one technically was Dennis Schroeder, actually, but this was the first one that happened when you could make trades.
Yep.
Dennis Schroeder, though, is being traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for Danny Green and pick 28 in the draft. A good move for the Lakers, in my opinion. This trade isn't official yet because the Lakers and Thunder have both agreed that they're looking for a third team for Danny Green to go to instead of OKC. Pretty much, I think the Lakers are literally the Thunder are just giving him Schroeder for pick 28, which I don't know. I mean, that's kind of undervaluing him a little bit. But unless the third team that gets involved really wants Danny Green and they give the Thunder something, but
like a top.
I mean, they'll probably get a player of some sort. I feel like they'll kind of have to, but
it's kind of weird that they traded. I mean, literally, they're trading Dennis Schroeder for I wouldn't say a bag of chips. The 28th pick is not a highly sought after.
It's like what Kuzma was picked at. I mean, there's some good players that come there.
And there is, but in next year's draft, I think it's a different story. 28th pick.
This year is deep though. It's just not top heavy.
But what I'm saying is I don't know. It just seems like they're not getting a lot for the sixth.
No,
I
agree though. I definitely agree.
Candidate, I guess he didn't win it. Right?
Yeah, candidate. He should have won it.
Who won it?
Montrez, yeah. So, but the first like blockbuster trade to happen was one that was kind of expected to happen, and it was between the Phoenix Suns and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Again, this time they got rid of Chris Paul. Chris Paul finally gets dealt to Phoenix, along with Abdel Nader. And Oklahoma City gets Kelly Oubre, Ricky Rubio, Ty Jerome, Jalen LeCue, and a 2022 protected first-round pick. It's pretty heavily protected, I'm pretty sure.
Like, I've heard that they might not get it until 2027.
Yeah, or I think it just eventually turns into 2 second-round picks. I think that's somehow like really protected picks work. They just turn into 2 seconds.
Yep.
But I think this is a W for both sides. A lot of people are saying that the OKC got finessed. They didn't get anything back. But you got to remember, like, as much as we love Chris Paul and as much of a good year he had, he's still a 35-year-old player on a $40 million contract that had a really serious injury 2 years ago.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing with Chris Paul. He's not going to stay healthy. Oklahoma's in no spot to contend.
Yeah.
Why keep that contract?
And you look at what
they
got. You know, they gave up Westbrook for Chris Paul, but they got so many picks with Chris Paul. So, like, it's not like they paid a big price for Chris Paul either, because you look at Westbrook's trade value now, it's like Chris Paul probably has more trade value than Westbrook does at this
absolutely,
moment.
I think.
So
Sam Presti's a genius.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's been talked about what the next drafts are going to look like.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be the Thunder and another team we're about to talk about. Yep. But yeah, okay, I love this move for Phoenix, though. Me and Easton had talked about this even before all the Chris Paul rumors. We both kind of agreed that DeAndre Ayton is probably going to take that step this upcoming season, like the all, like maybe not being an all-star, but become one of the top centers in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And
like in debate for all NBA teams.
Yeah, exactly. And in
the discussion.
And, you know, now he has Chris Paul, and like, this has been talked about a lot, but, I mean, you look how good Chris Paul has made centers that weren't really that talented, I guess. What are you looking for?
My water. I thought I brought water down here.
I don't know. But, like, DeAndre Jordan was a first-team All-NBA center for dunking the basketball.
That's
off
a
lobs
joke.
And blocking shots. You know, David West back in his New Orleans days. I mean, David West, he was an all-star. I'm not saying he was bad, but...
He had a career elsewhere, but not the career he had in New Orleans.
And like Blake Griffin's a little different, but because he's not really a traditional big man. But I mean, DeAndre Ayton is probably the most talented center that Chris Paul is gonna get the chance to play with. Maybe not yet, but like in his prime, once he gets to his peak, he will be.
Yeah, because maybe Steven Adams. I mean, Steven Adams is...
Yeah, right. I would say Steven Adams is probably better than Ayton right now.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, going into next season, though, I think Ayton could come out.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, seriously a stud. I mean, he's a defensive monster. As long as he stays out of trouble. I mean, he got in early trouble this start of the season.
He feasts on the glass. You know, just a dominant in the paint. Can knock down the mid-range.
He's a stud. I like DeAndre.
Yeah, and Kelly Oubre, we all knew he was kind of the odd man out. Ricky Rubio in OKC, I don't really know. I doubt Ricky Rubio finishes the year in Oklahoma City. He will probably just be there till the trade deadline, or you know, until they can trade him again. And you know, I could definitely see Ty Jerome and Jalen LeCue, you know, at some point becoming rotational players for Oklahoma City, just because. They like to rotate a lot of guys, and that you don't really hear of much, or at least that were late picks and everything.
Really see Ty Jerome stepping in and actually getting good minutes. Yeah. I mean, that's because Ty Jerome struggles a lot of times on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah. And you put him next to Shea.
Exactly, yeah. And he's a taller point guard, too. So, I mean, there's not really a lot of mismatch issues there. But, yeah, that was the first one. The next one, the Portland Trailblazers receive Robert Covington from the Houston Rockets. And in return, the Rockets get back Trevor Ariza, who played for them for a couple years ago. They get the 16th pick tonight in this draft, and they get a 2021 first-round pick. I believe that is somewhat protected, but Portland will probably make the playoffs, so I don't really think it matters that much. This kind of shows that this trade showed me that what direction Houston's going to head into this offseason.
It looks like this is the start of the end for the Houston Rockets. Like, Rocco is the first piece to get moved, and now it's just going down the line.
Yeah, because, I mean, why would you trade Rocco for Ariza, who probably won't play in Houston? No. He'll probably just get cut. And, you know, for 2 picks. You know, I mean, Houston has no picks, so Rocco was a guy who they gave up a lot for to get last. They gave up Clint Capella and a first-round pick just to get Robert Covington. because they liked his fit with the team. And Robert Covington is one of, he's probably a top 5 3-and-D player in the NBA. Like he's or at least role player wise. Like he is one of the best role players in the league. And I love this move for Portland because we kind of talked about this a little bit. Like, what is Portland going to do with that 16th pick that's going to help them in a loaded Western Conference next year, But
Rocco, he does help a lot.
He helps a lot. I mean, I love the fit with him. I don't know what their plan is with Dame and CJ. I've heard a lot of they're going to move on from CJ. I don't really know how true that is, but I love Rocco in the mix with Dame and CJ and Nurkic. I love throwing Rocco in there.
Well, and I love the tandem of Carmelo and Rocco.
Yeah, if they bring back Carmelo, which I would, you can afford. Yeah. You could, like, with Rocco out there, having Melo at that other wing spot you're completely fine with that.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of what Portland did. That they're in a loaded Western Conference next season. They are making a name for themselves, just like the Suns did with their trade.
And they're returning. I mean, Gary Trent's gonna get better. I think.
Yeah,
he had a little spur in the bubble.
Gary Trent might start at the 3. I mean, he's undersized, but I mean, it's positionless basketball we play in today. So, Gary Trent was one of those guys in the bubble that improved a bunch. I was just making sure I wasn't a trade.
Making sure we didn't see a Woj.
Like Easton said, there will probably be things that happen in this episode that we will have to stop at what we're talking about just to talk about this. So,
and you'll get our fresh thoughts with no like real thought.
The 2021 first that Portland gave Houston is interesting because Woj was tweeting about how important 2021 or how valuable all 2021 firsts are next year because it's a consensus around the league between all the GMs that the 2021 NBA draft class is going to be loaded and superstar loaded. Like, I mean, that class is, just to name a few guys, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, Jalen Johnson, Evan Mobley, Jonathan Kuminga. I mean, just to name a few.
Those are the monsters of the class.
And it's a good, more. You got Brandon Boston. I mean, there's a bunch of guys, but so
Devin Askew, right?
Yeah, I think so.
From Kentucky.
Ooh. I thought wasn't he committed to UCLA at one point, and then that's a different guy. He is at Kentucky, yeah. But I mean, I like that trade a lot for both teams, but it shows me that Houston is headed in that rebuild.
Start of the end.
Yep. The next trade these next 2 trades actually kind of happened right at the same time. We went a while after the Chris Paul trade with no trades, and then the Rocco one happened, and then these 2 happened
like back to back.
You
were asleep.
I fell asleep for the second one, but because they both happened late. But the first one, finally, Milwaukee. When Chris Paul got traded to Phoenix, I really was like, man, Milwaukee struck out. Like they missed, man. Like they need to go all in. Well, they went all in for sure. They go all in on Drew Holiday. From the New Orleans Pelicans, a guy who a lot of different teams, the Brooklyn Nets, honestly, I thought were the favorite to land Drew Holiday. But Milwaukee gets him. And, at first when this comes out, I see for Eric Bledsoe, George Hill, and draft compensation. When I saw that, I thought, now how did they put together a better package than Brooklyn? Brooklyn definitely, and Denver, because Denver was talking a lot about Drew Holiday as well. I'm thinking, there's Denver and Brooklyn each have better pieces than that, Then I see this. The draft compensation ends up being number 24th pick in this year's draft tonight. A 2025 and 2027 unprotected first, and then 2024 and 2026 right to swap picks.
Which is
unreal.
4 first round picks.
5, technically.
Yeah, 5, right.
I mean, 3 technically with the 2. I mean, you're still going to have first-round picks, but what if you suck and the New Orleans doesn't?
My thing is, Milwaukee must really think they're going to have Giannis for another 8 years.
Well, I think that them doing that move is like, hey, Giannis, we're showing you we're plan on having you here.
Yeah.
And that is a pretty penny for Drew Holiday. And trust me, I'm a big Drew Holiday fan. I think he's super underrated, but I really don't think he's worth that many picks.
No.
But I think Milwaukee, though, I'm not saying it was a bad move at all. I'm cool with them doing that because they needed to show Giannis that they are committed to, they want him to stay and they want to win a championship with him there. That does it. I mean, they went all in.
When that trade happened, you called me. We were talking. I was like, I'm not really sure about it. I am sure about it.
Yeah,
now.
no, I am.
They're going to be defensive monsters in Milwaukee. Brooke Lopez, his defensive ratings were great, but granted,
he's a great rim protector, fantastic.
And
Giannis obviously
is the best defender in the league.
Drew Holiday, a lot of players have said he's the best defender in the league.
I mean,
Chris Middleton does the job. But one thing about this trade, I thought, wow, they're not giving up Dante DiVincenzo. I was thinking, is that like room for another trade, or are they just like, do they want to keep, as a future asset? Nope.
Got answered.
Nope. The very next trade that happened probably like 20 minutes later, Bogdan Bogdanovic gets traded along with Justin James to the Milwaukee Bucks for Dante DiVincenzo, Ersan Ilyasova, and DJ Wilson from Michigan.
This
trade is I'm surprised that what they gave up, I guess. Like, they didn't really have to give up much.
No, that's what I was saying with Sacramento. I was like, you took that deal?
Like, DiVincenzo, trust me, is a good young piece, but so is Bogdanovic, and he's a better young piece than who wants Ilyasova? Like, unless they like DJ Wilson, I don't know.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. But, I mean, Bogdanovic is a fantastic shooter, one of the better shooters in the NBA, a good scorer. He's still really young. I mean, he's probably 25, 24, 25. It's a sign and trade because he was a restricted free agent this offseason, so I don't know how much he's looking to get paid. Okay, we have us our first Woj bomb of the episode. Anything else you want to say about Bogdanovic? Breaking news. Do you want anything else you want to say about Bogdanovic or no? All right. So, Woj just tweets that I'm gonna click on it just so
that was a loud noise. I'm sorry for headphone listeners. That was loud. My bad.
By the way, this is gonna be a long episode. Woj bomb. The Philadelphia 76ers are trading Al Horford and a first round and a second round pick to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Danny Green.
Ooh.
So the Thunder are taking on Al Horford's contract,
which is perfect.
Makes sense because,
I never thought about the Thunder taking on
they're going to keep him the whole time. I mean, because they're not really looking to pay anybody, I guess, in free agency the next couple of years.
They're not contending.
I would like to see what these picks are. That shows you how this trade right here shows you how like valueless Al Horford is.
Oh,
because Danny Green, after his finals performance, had like no value. He just got traded with the 28th pick for Schroeder. Horford attached with a first and second. I would like to see what type of first. It just says and a first and second, but we'll see.
Oklahoma's got more picks.
Can we announce that this is Daryl Morey's first trade as the GM of the Philadelphia 76ers? Shout out to that's cool. Good for him. We're gonna see a lot of that.
This is such a good trade. That was a great trade.
But I want to see what the pick. Like I said, I don't know what to base trades off of until I see the picks.
Sam Presti, more picks for him.
Might as well.
Just keep giving them to him.
And then go give Al Horford to somebody for the worst player in the NBA. Then maybe somebody wants Al Horford and you can just flip him too. But I doubt it. But yeah, I mean, is that all you want to talk about? I mean, I'll update us once Woj tweets again. More, but the last trade that happened today, other than the one we just found out about, was just a draft trade. The New York Knicks decided to trade up from they had pick 27 and pick 38. They used both of those picks to move up 4 spots to pick 23 with the Utah Jazz. I immediately thought that this was just going to be a LaMelo Ball move up type thing. Like you're going to use that pick 23 to move up. But at the same time, it's like, why would a team want 23 when they could get 27 and 38,
Yeah.
So maybe they think there's somebody that they can get at 23 that they can't get at 27, I guess.
I don't know. Because at that point, you don't know where people are going. There's no set order.
I mean, if it's like, if you're at like pick 20 and this happens, like, and you're like, okay, I think he'll be gone before 27. Maybe we move up to 23. That's a little different, but this early, like this was this morning. This was at like 9:30 this morning. So yeah, I don't know how. I mean, that's just not that big of a trade, but
man, the more we talk about the draft, the more antsy I get.
I know. I'm so excited.
Antsy.
And the thing is, the thing that sucks is I know we're gonna be back on Saturday, but like so much stuff is gonna happen tonight that we're not gonna get to talk about until Saturday. So just make sure that you, and this is going to come out tomorrow too, so like it's going to sound weird, but just make sure you tune in on Saturday so you can hear everything that happened if you don't really like watch any other sports shows.
These will probably be our 2 biggest episodes. Like to me, like the most important episodes.
Oh yeah. So that's all we have for the trades, but I just have the normal news now, and there is a lot of NBA news as well. The first thing I want to talk about is the guy who has just been in so many trade rumors, mainly specifically with one team, and that is superstar, former MVP, James Harden.
You did a really good job at describing what kind of, like, the former MVP superstar. He would love
I just
that.
got breaking news, but it's the Al Horford thing. The picks still haven't come out yet. But I like Danny Green with the Sixers, though.
Me too.
James Harden, you know, he told Brooklyn that he told Houston he wants to be in Brooklyn. And then Houston, they're doing everything they can to want him to stay, including offering him. He doesn't come a free agent until 2022, so he has 2 more full seasons left on his contract before he becomes a free agent. So he's not an expiring deal. They offer him a 2-year contract extension worth $103 million.
The first ever player to be paid $50 million, and he said
in NBA history.
No.
He says no.
No.
I think Anthony Davis will become that player this year with his like not the first year, but at the end of his contract, it'll probably the last couple years will be in the near 50s.
Anything?
Kenny just tweeted about he said only giving up 1 first rounder to get rid of Horford is insane.
But it's still the Thunder. The Thunder have no use for.
I feel like Horford. I feel like they're gonna flip Horford.
Maybe.
Because now they have Rubio and Horford. Dude, they could still make the playoffs. Rubio and Shea and Horford and Steven Adams.
That's a decent
How does that... I mean, it is the West. It is the West.
It is the West. Phoenix just got a lot better.
Yeah.
The Pelicans are going to be better, and Memphis is going to be better.
Oh, yeah. Me and Easton talk about how good the West is going to be, like, every single day. But what's up with... I mean, that shows you that Harden doesn't want to be in Houston,
when
right?
he's turning down the biggest contract in NBA history... You know he's not with you guys. Like,
No.
He does not care about making money.
He said he wants to be in Brooklyn. It's not even about, like, trade me somewhere. It's trade me to Brooklyn.
Well, because originally this came out, and he was like, it'd be kind of cool to play for the Sixers, the Nets, or the Heat. And all of a sudden it was like, boom, I want to play for the Nets.
Yeah, I want to be with my former teammate, Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
And reportedly, Kyrie Irving doesn't want James Harden.
Of course he does.
Of course. There's no way that's true.
I cannot stand
like,
that guy.
trust me, I would believe it, but there's no way that he was just like, nah, I don't want him.
James Harden, he ain't good enough.
Now, obviously, the fit part, I mean, the
is
people
up for debate.
It's up for debate, but like, you're telling me that James Harden and Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving aren't going to be a good team? Like, I saw something that was like, James Harden, if he goes to the Nets, they will be so much worse than they are right now. And it's just like, trust me, I understand that they're all super ball dominant players, but you're telling me Steph Curry and Kevin Durant and Boogie Cousins and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson aren't ball dominant guys? I mean, I know Klay's not, but Draymond is. And he's power forward. Boogie was. I don't know. It's just
So somebody brought it up to me because I used to be a guy who was like two ball dominant players doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean
it does.
It does.
James
Paul
Harden
and Harden
Chris Paul.
worked until Paul got hurt.
So when LeBron went to the Miami Heat, him and Dwayne Wade had 2 of the top 5 usage rates in the whole league.
And 2 guys that aren't really known for their jump shot either. I mean, LeBron actually in 2013 shot almost 40% from 3, which was nuts. But D Wade was never a guy that was known for his jump shot. So,
except for in 2K.
Oh yeah, base 98. That's Dwayne Wade base. But I don't know. I think that Harden in Brooklyn is fine, and they are easily finals favorites if that happens. I would say
easily,
at least Eastern Conference favorites. But
I don't know. The East is very talented too. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna look at the Celtics and the Bucks. And the Heat.
Look, but that's the thing. The Bucks now, though, it's really without this Harden trade happening. There's my East favorite right now is definitely the Bucks. Like it has to be. They have the best. Would you say they have the best starting 5 in basketball right now? As of right now, with Drew, Bogey, Middleton, Giannis, Brook Lopez, is that the best starting 5? I think it is easily.
I don't think it is easily. I think the Nets are still in contention.
Because the Nets just kind of have that random spot at the 4, though, where it's like they have Taurean Prince there, and it's just like...
Yeah, they probably do. It's them or the Clippers.
Paul Pierce said that LeBron and Anthony Davis and whoever else they have is better than the Bucks starting 5.
That's crazy.
Which is just like, come on. I know it's LeBron and AD, but like, you're telling me that they get 3 scrubs there and that they're still better?
Like, let's take last year's starting
Paul
5,
Pierce.
and you're going to tell me
he
that's
said
better.
that, and Kendrick Perkins was like, whoa, LeBron or Paul Pierce is praising LeBron James for once, because Paul Pierce always just hates on LeBron.
Well, why wouldn't
He's always like, we were never scared of LeBron.
Yeah, you were. You beat him like
you beat him like once.
Yeah, you have one
twice
ring.
actually. Yeah,
he ran through you.
But one thing I want to talk about too is the Rockets pretty much came out and said that we are okay going into training camps with 2 unhappy superstars, with obviously James Harden and Russell Westbrook. I find that really odd
and nuts.
Like, why would you want to do that? You know, that's not good for your team. Woj just tweeted. Let's see what the picks are. The Sixers are sending a lightly protected 2025 first round pick and the 34th overall pick in tonight's draft. Lightly protected probably means like top 3 or top 5 protected.
Maybe lottery. I doubt lottery.
No, lottery's pretty heavily protected. The Thunder are also sending Terrence Ferguson to the Sixers with Green.
I like Terrence Ferguson.
I like him too. He's athletic.
He's fun to watch.
What are the chances Danny Green wins 3 titles in 3 years with 3 different teams?
He'd be what? Would he be the only player to ever do that?
I don't know. There's Steve Kerr
did it with only the Spurs.
Yeah.
The
I don't
Bulls.
think there's anybody else, but I mean, there's
Patrick
probably
McCaw
a random role player though that has done it.
I don't know. It was a big deal when Patrick McCaw went 3-peated with.
Yeah, that's true.
That was a huge deal.
It was, yeah.
Him and Steve Kerr are the only 2 to do it.
Really? So he probably would be. I feel like the Sixers, no way though.
No, there's no way the Sixers win.
But
who knows? I don't know.
What were we talking about? Russell Westbrook and Harden.
Being unhappy.
What the heck? Just and now there's rumors that Westbrook for John Wall, and I'm just, Easton said that it's kind of good for the Wizards, but I don't know. I don't really see it. I'm not a fan of either
I
of
think
those.
Houston just needs to get everything together and just trade both of them.
They need to just hit the hard reset.
Say, okay, guys, we're
Boom.
done.
Reset button. The Sixers are also sending the rights to Serbian point guard Vasilije Micic to the Thunder. I'm so sorry if I butchered that name.
You did.
It says Micic is considered one of Europe's top point guards. He's 26 years old. Of course, the Thunder just adding assets.
Yep.
What if this guy ends up being the next Luka?
Just keep him
next
coming.
Rubio.
Keep him coming. Sam Presti's a genius. Is it Presti or Presti?
Presti. There's a T, yeah. Next thing I want to talk about is just some free agency news. We have a couple players opt into their contracts. 2 guys that we weren't really sure what they were planning on doing. Andre Drummond and DeMar DeRozan both opt into their large player options, each worth like $27 million at least a piece. Do you think Drummond or DeRozan get traded now? Because obviously with them opting in, they can be traded right away. It's not like they have to sign a contract first.
I don't think either one of them will be traded.
You don't
I
think
know
so?
There's the talks of the Spurs making a huge move this offseason. It's all behind closed doors, and it's being kept really quiet. I don't see it with DeMar making that much money. And I guess maybe he wasn't in the deal anyways.
Yeah.
But Andre Drummond, I certainly don't see getting traded. I mean, I don't know where he goes.
Exactly, and I know there's some teams that wanted him, but with his large contract,
they wanted him for like 10
Yeah,
mil.
the situation was like he was gonna go to Boston and take $15 million a year, take a pay cut. With him making $28 million, Boston really can't do that.
No. Maybe could you trade Gordon Hayward for him?
Yeah, you could. You could. I don't know how much I like that though.
I like it.
Like, I feel like a stretch 5 fits Boston more. Like, I feel like Drummond's kind of a last option type thing. Like, but at that point, do you even really want to move Hayward at that point?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. This one was a Boston Celtics rumor. Apparently, Danny Ainge was throwing, it was like quoted like throwing Kemba Walker around everywhere to get picks for Drew Holiday. Danny Ainge with the Boston Celtics really wanted Drew Holiday, and he was trying to acquire draft picks to give New Orleans for Drew Holiday, because New Orleans pretty much, it reportedly came out that New Orleans didn't really care about players. They just wanted picks for Drew Holiday. And that makes more sense why the Milwaukee trade made more or happen instead of the Brooklyn trade where they could have got Karis LeVert and Dinwiddie, which makes them their team a lot better. But they wanted future picks.
That's an issue for Danny Ainge. I mean, Kemba's.
Especially that's come out too. Like you really don't want that to come out.
And it's Kemba, who's like a known. I mean, I'd say he's a loyalty guy.
And he was a. I mean, I don't know about a loyalty guy. He left Charlotte, but
I know, but like,
yeah, I kind of get what you're saying.
Charlotte.
Yeah,
he stayed
exactly.
for a long time.
But and he's only been in Boston for 1 year, and in his first year there, they were 2 games away from the NBA final. They lost in 6, right? Yeah, they were 2 games away from the NBA finals. Like, I don't know, Boston. That's just not a really good look for them.
No, not at all.
And how much is Jrue Holiday better than Kemba Walker right now?
No. Hell no.
Okay, I wouldn't say hell no. Like, it's close.
But if I'm building the Celtics, I don't want Jrue Holiday. I want Kemba.
Yeah, because Jrue Holiday is just juiced Marcus Smart. He's just better Marcus. He really is.
No, he is.
And you just have 2 of them. and Kemba Walker is definitely more of a point guard than Jrue Holiday
absolutely.
is. Even though Jrue Holiday, I don't think so, actually. Jrue Holiday gets more assists than Kemba Walker.
But, like, Kemba's more like that.
He's just a scoring point guard. He's not really a playmaker, which I hope he can change that this year. But the last kind of NBA rumor news I want to talk about is Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield was a guy who I had thought was going to be the first player traded in once you were allowed to make trades back a couple months, during the bubble. He pretty much told Sacramento he wanted traded, and then you see Bogdanovich get traded. And it's a sign and trade, which Bogdanovich will probably be making at least $10 million a year with his new deal. Buddy Hield makes, I think he's making like $17 to $18 million a year right now. So it'll be close to similar money. Is Buddy Hield going to get traded or no?
I don't think so anymore.
I think really worries me for the Kings.
See, I think it's better for the Kings.
The Kings are just in a really bad spot.
Their rebuild went wrong.
Yeah, it did.
They just went all wrong.
But with Buddy Hield, like, do people not want Buddy Hield? Or?
No, I don't think you get enough in return because in trading Buddy Hield, you have to get something back that makes De'Aaron Fox stay.
Or at least not want to leave.
I don't think you can do that. I think you keep...
The thing is, I told Easton this the other day, and this was before the Bogdanovich trade. This is just kind of a random take I have. But I really do think this is going to be De'Aaron Fox's last year as a Sacramento King. I think 2020 to 2021 will be his final season as a King. I think he'll request a trade. Just the way he was kind of talking on JJ Redick's podcast. And I don't know. The Kings are in a really bad spot. Because there's just me and Easton named off 12 teams in the West that we could see making the playoffs,
and they're not.
And the Kings aren't one of them. The Kings are not one of them.
Absolutely.
And they only got I thought that they would move Buddy Hield, and so they would fully commit to Bogdanovich, and Bogdanovich would kind of take that step. But then they traded him, so now I'm just a little confused. They have DiVincenzo now, but Marvin Bagley still can't prove that he can stay healthy. The Kings are really they were really having a good rebuild. They were really close to making the playoffs 2 years ago, and now they're headed back down the other way. And it's just that sucks for them.
It's a failed rebuild.
Like, it really sucks.
And it sucks because I don't think we've seen a lot of failed rebuilds lately, like true blow it up rebuilds, like the Kings did.
Like they blew it up and then it just didn't even work after they blew it up. I mean, and I wouldn't say that it's that like obviously that rebuild only lasted like 3 or 4 years, but it showed that their ceiling was the 9th seed in the West, and now they're going back down again. And it's just, I don't know. Do you have to trade De'Aaron Fox if this year goes bad, which it will? Or,
yeah, I absolutely.
Or do you tell De'Aaron Fox, hey, we're going to be bad this year, and we're going to go get one of these top dogs in the 2021 draft, and then we're
going to give you a backcourt mate.
We're going to give you a whole bunch of money, which I don't know if they already have or not. I think he's up for an extension this offseason.
Me too. I don't think he cares. I think he's a winner.
I think so too.
I think he cares about winning basketball games. I mean, obviously, at some point in your life as an NBA player, you have to take your paycheck. I think he'll take a 17 mil instead of a 28. No.
De'Aaron Fox is a max. He's a max.
What?
You don't think De'Aaron Fox is a max?
Not quite.
Why
yet.
would Sacramento not give him the max, though?
No, and I get that.
Because you got to think about some players that get the max, dude.
I know, but I'm saying
Buddy Hield got a crap
He
ton.
would go somewhere else to take less money.
I don't think so.
You think he'll take the max?
Not right now. Maybe in the future, but not at this point. He needs to secure his.
I don't know with his play
there's
style.
There's a lot
of
dude. It's very. You got to think about it though. There's very few young players that have promise like De'Aaron Fox that want to take a pay cut to go play, that are young. They're young. They've never gotten a big paycheck. They're on their rookie deal, you know? They want to get paid. Yeah. If somebody's throwing you $29 million a year,
you're probably taking
taking it no matter where you're at. And then you can just request a trade 2 years later.
Good point.
Yeah, is there any other basketball on? Oh, I have one more thing, actually. Onyeka Okongwu, lottery projected pick, has a fractured left toe. And it's reportedly not supposed to affect his start of the season. Like, he'll be ready. Is it? Yeah, but is that anything to worry about?
No, it's a toe.
Yeah, it just happened.
They can cut it off if they need to. They can just
tape it to the other one. You'll be fine. But yeah, that was pretty much it.
He's only out for 1 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So,
any other NBA news you want to talk about, or are we ready to hop into football?
I think we're ready to hop into football.
Yeah, and like I said, if anything happens here, I will stop. We'll stop, drop what we're talking about, and say what Woj came out with. But
we're Woj guys. By the way. We are not Shams guys.
Okay, but it's not that I dislike Shams. I've just always been a Woj guy.
Woj first.
Some quick news I want to talk about before we get into our picks and power rankings. First thing, CMU, the best team in Michigan,
is
taking on Western tonight. What a big time game this is. I'm watching this over the draft for sure.
Oh, I probably won't even look at what the draft results are. I'll be so concerned.
No, I'm playing. But yeah, CMU is this is battle for the best team in Michigan right now.
Oh, easily.
With Michigan and Michigan State both
being bad at
both
football.
Sucking. Jagger just texted, said, "What do you think of Cole Anthony?" Just super random.
It's weird. We were talking about that earlier.
I know, we were talking about Cole Anthony, yeah. But what were we just talking about? Oh, yeah, Michigan and Michigan State both had another loss this weekend. They're both sitting at 1-3 right now, halfway through the season. You know, there's only 8 games. Penn State though is worse, which is a little satisfying at least.
Yeah.
At least Penn State is 0-4. But, I mean, we have a big game this weekend between Indiana and Ohio State. Obviously, it's not really, I still want to see Ohio State lose. Indiana's number 9. They're 4-0. They've been balling. But it's not really that big because it's not like if Ohio State lose, it helps Michigan or Michigan State at all.
Does State play Penn State this year?
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
So we at least get one more win, hopefully.
Michigan will probably win another one. I really don't know if State will, though.
I don't know if Michigan will.
They'll probably beat Maryland or Rutgers or both, but that might be it.
I'm not sure about Rutgers.
Rutgers still has yet to win a game other than the State game, though. So that was just a quick college football thing I wanted to talk about. Did you happen to see the DeAndre Hopkins catch?
Yeah, that was the game of the week. That game was
of the
awesome.
year, probably.
You think better than Seahawks Cardinals?
Oh, yeah, this one was better. Because the Buffalo, it was such close, and Buffalo scored with like 30 seconds
and it was
left.
a game.
And this is, losing on a Hail Mary sucks. Like, Buffalo, you can't just say, Buffalo, you can't just lower them because of the loss. Like,
absolutely not.
They played great and against a good team, and, Kyler Murray threw it up to the best wide receiver in the league, and he got it. So, did you see Dave Portnoy had $50K on the Bills?
No way.
Yeah, he had $50K on the Bills.
Oh, I'd cry.
They showed the live reaction, too, of him watching the game. Because when the Bills scored with 30 seconds left, he was freaking out, so happy.
Was he crying when it? I mean, I'd be.
He was literally just laughing. He was like, "Oh,
he's got so much money.
Yeah,
he don't care.
I would say it, but it's explicit of how he describes the amount of money he has.
Yeah. That's off. No, that game was unreal. I mean, I was sitting there watching it because it didn't affect my fantasy or anything, but I just found it. I loved watching the Bills. I love watching Josh Allen play.
See, the thing is, it affected our picks, though, because you had Buffalo, I had Arizona. So I was rooting for Arizona, and then that ended up happening.
When Kyler rushed out of the pocket, I was rooting for the Cardinals. I was rooting for that ball to be caught. I like Kyler Murray a lot.
Oh, yeah. And then Drew Brees, one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league, one of my favorite quarterbacks ever, got hurt in their game on Sunday. And he has 5 fractured ribs and a collapsed lung. I mean, just a not a good look for Drew Brees, especially at an older age in this league. Thoughts going out to him. I really hope he can recover.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to see a doctor to see how long he's going to be out for, but I will assume he will be out for quite some time. And that's why they brought in a guy like Jameis Winston. I know that Taysom Hill is technically the backup, but Winston's gonna, he's gonna play. And I don't know. I would really love to see Jameis Winston succeed in New Orleans.
I wouldn't.
Why?
I don't like. I like Jameis Winston.
He just got a lot of hate last year.
I'm not sure it's undeserved. He's not a good dude.
I mean, he just throws the ball. I mean, what do you mean he's not a good dude?
I mean, all of his college allegations, and then after, he's just, I don't like him. I mean,
Cam Newton had the same thing. What do you think?
I don't like Cam Newton.
You've definitely said you've liked Cam Newton before.
No.
Yeah, you have.
Cam Newton's cool, but like.
Yeah, but but if he's cool, then he's not a good dude.
I guess. I don't like Jameis Winston.
I don't know. I think I would like to see Winston do good just for the Saints' sake of things, just because, I like the Saints, and it kind of sucks that Drew Brees is out now, and I picked the Saints to win the Super Bowl too, so.
He can do good and throw it to Mike Thomas. I mean, I'm not going to hate on him for doing good.
I feel like he's in a better, I want to say he's in a better spot than Tampa Bay, but I mean, he kind of had, I don't know if he had more weapons in Tampa, because he had Godwin and Evans, obviously, and Howard.
He has Kamara.
He has Kamara, so he can make a lot of, and Thomas, so he doesn't have to throw the deep ball, I guess. He can make a lot of short, safe passes.
Yeah.
But he does the run game, way better run game than he did in Tampa. Do you just want to hop into our results from last week?
Yeah, I have no idea what this week looked like. I didn't even look at how many I got right.
Last week was a good week. We had we both had a decent picking week.
Decent picking week.
I mean, we can go through some of the games really quick if you want to talk about it. Green Bay about lost against Jacksonville.
That was crazy. I looked at my fantasy on my phone. I was like, Green Bay lost? And I was like, oh, wait, no, they won.
That would have been huge if they would have lost. The Lions got the win after going up 24-3, ended up blowing the lead. Prater knocks a 60-yarder to win it.
Best Matt on the Lions.
Including the coaching staff. Tampa Bay blew Carolina out of the water. They put up like 46 on them, I think. Justin Herbert loses yet another one-score game against Tua and the Dolphins. Should we share the crazy stat that we both saw?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's 3 teams in the NFL right now that each don't have any losses that were more than one score, like more than 8 points technically. And it's obviously the Pittsburgh Steelers because they don't have any losses. The Chiefs, their one loss against the Raiders was with less than 8 points. And the Los Angeles Chargers.
The 2-7 Chargers.
2-7. They have yet to lose by more than one score. That is heartbreaking. That is something that would happen to the Lions.
Yeah, no, that'd be so hard.
Feeling it for the Chargers fans right now.
Me too.
Feel bad for you guys. Arizona obviously got the win over Buffalo. That was a crazy game. Seattle loses to the LA Rams. They lose 2 games in a row. The Rams looked really good. Jalen Ramsey shut down DK Metcalf. They showed the stats that when he was guarding Metcalf, and it was pretty nuts.
Metcalf's had a bad couple of weeks here.
Yeah. And then kind of the surprise of the week, Baltimore loses on Sunday Night Football to the Patriots. They didn't look very good, man.
No.
But the thing is, the Patriots actually looked pretty solid, but better than they did against the Jets. Really surprising, though. I did not expect that.
Suffering from Buffalo syndrome, where they're just up and down and up and down.
Baltimore really is just missing that weapon. They really need that number 1 wide receiver.
Well, they got Weapon X.
Hollywood Brown is a good wide receiver, but he's not really the number 1. They need a weapon.
They got Weapon X, dude.
What is that?
Des Bryant.
Oh,
he's sitting on the bench, bro.
Well, yeah, I know.
He's not a number 1. That's a joke.
They really knew, when the whole OBJ trade happened. I wish they would have traded for him before he would have gotten hurt because he'd have been perfect. And then Minnesota beat Chicago on Monday Night Football. That's pretty much it for the games last week. So the results, I got to share the results. I got 9 out of 14, and Easton also got 9 out of 14. And if you don't happen to remember, Easton, our tiebreaker is the primetime games. We picked the same Sunday and Monday night. We both picked Baltimore and Minnesota, so it came down to the Thursday night game between Indianapolis and Tennessee. And I happened to pick the Colts, who won the game. So I got the W. I am now up 6-4. This might be the first 2-point lead in these. So this is like a must win for you.
I can't let you pull away
with these week's picks. So, should we get right into our picks for next week?
Yeah, and we might as well show off our cool new button.
Or yeah, might as well.
Cool new button.
Yep.
Now.
Weekly picks, it's the weekly picks. It's the high tempo weekly NFL picks.
That is our new jingle.
That's the new weekly jingle. If you don't like our singing, well, that sucks because you will hear it every week.
We've been actually talking about that since like week 3. And we just never took the time to do it.
Week 11, so over halfway in the season. Let's get on the way with Thursday night football. We got the 6-3 Arizona Cardinals at the 6-3 Seattle Seahawks. This is a big in-division game here. Who do you got?
Go Birds, Arizona.
I was going to say, there's a couple birds here.
I know.
I'm going Seahawks, man. I picked them last week and they lost. I picked them the last 2 weeks and they lost. Hopefully they don't do it to me 3 weeks in a row. Especially with, Arizona coming off having a big win. I could just see
having
it.
a letdown.
Yeah.
Yep. I think they're going to ride the energy. I think they're going to the opposite
wouldn't
direction.
surprise me. Next, we have the 4-5 New England Patriots at the 2-7 Houston Texans. I am going to check the video real quick while you say who you got.
Like you mentioned earlier, New England looked good against Baltimore. They didn't look like they beat they were like a bad team beat Baltimore. It actually looked like a pretty solid team beat Baltimore. I'm going to go with New England over Houston because Houston is a dumpster fire. They look awful.
I picked Houston. I just don't see the Patriots winning 3 games in a row. I wanted to say too, if you didn't notice, we're wearing sweatpants with these dress shirts. It's like business casual.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, I picked Houston though. Next, we have the NFC East leader, by the way, 3-5-1 Philadelphia Eagles at the 6-3 Cleveland Browns.
Going with the Browns here.
I'm going. Wow, I went with the Eagles.
Man, we're gonna have a lot of different ones.
The Eagles lost to the Giants, and the Giants were on a bye. They gotta win this one. There's no way they're gonna still lead at 3-6-1. They have to at least have an average record. And Cleveland is just they barely beat the Texans last week. It was like 10-7. They beat the Texans. So at home too. Next, we have the still undefeated 9-0 Pittsburgh Steelers at the 1-8 Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm going with Pittsburgh here, but Jags played a good game against a very good team.
I'm going with Pittsburgh. I picked them to lose against the Bengals last week, and they didn't barely beat them. They killed them, so I can't pick the upset 2 weeks in a row. If the Jacksonville wins, then I just deserve it, I guess. Next, we have your very own 4-5 Detroit Lions at the 3-7 Carolina Panthers.
Go Lions.
Go Lions, but man, this is one of them games that the Lions will lose. Especially after winning last week. After their win last week, it kind of shows that they're committed to at least trying to make the playoffs, which I don't know how I like because
they still got Minnesota and GB.
I'll talk about the playoff standings more as we go, but once we get into our power ranking, but I just don't like their odds of making the playoffs right now, even though I put that thing on my story. But and
CMC's back this week, right?
I don't know.
I think he is.
I don't know. Hopefully not. Next, we have the 2-6-1 Cincinnati Bengals at the 2-7 Washington Football Team.
I don't think I picked against the Bengals all year.
Yeah,
I'm going with the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm going with them too. Washington did look pretty good, but it was against the Lions. But Alex Smith had a really good game though last week.
I'll tell you what. If you want my fantasy ideas, what is the word?
Advice.
Pick up any trade for any Cincinnati wide receiver you can. They throw the ball so much.
I got T. Higgins.
Me too.
He goes off.
T. Higgins is a baller.
He goes off, dude. I wish I had him in my dynasty league.
He's
that would be awesome. Next, we have the 3-6 Atlanta Falcons at the 7-2 New Orleans Saints. This one was actually tougher than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and this wouldn't be tough if Drew Brees was playing.
Right.
I'm going with New Orleans still.
I also am. At home, especially they're still fighting with Tampa Bay right now for the lead.
This happens one of two ways. Jameis Winston comes out fired up and throws 3 picks, or he comes out fired up and just balls out.
Yeah, and the thing is, he could throw 3 picks and they could still win. It's
absolutely.
it just depends. Yeah. Atlanta likes to blow leads. So next we have my start game of the week. We have the 6-3 Tennessee Titans at the 6-3 Baltimore Ravens. Both of these teams looking to come bounce back off of a loss from last week.
So there's no logic other than who you think's better, and I'm going with Baltimore. They got to show up.
I was just thinking about it. I was like, all right, They both are coming off of a loss. Who do I see not losing 2 in a row? Baltimore. I don't see them losing 2 in a row. So I just went with them. Yeah. Next, we have the 0-9 New York Jets at the 2-7 Los Angeles Chargers.
It's the Chargers.
Man, Herbert, I hope you can get a big win here.
Blowout.
Just get a solid win here. Just kill him. Because I went with them too. Next, we have one of the most surprised teams in football this year, the 6-3 Miami Dolphins at the 3-6 Denver Broncos.
Going with Miami here. I'm big on Miami. Tua's been looking actually really solid.
Oh, yeah.
So
their defense hasn't been bad either.
No.
I have picked against Miami the last 2 weeks that they've won, so I'm hopping on the bandwagon. I'm going with them this week. Next, we have the 7-2 division leading Green Bay Packers going to Indianapolis to take on the 6-3 Colts.
Going to Indianapolis at home.
Me too. This is a huge win as a Lions fan, or a huge game as a Lions fan. If the Colts were to win, this is huge. Next, we have the 2-7 Dallas Cowboys at the 4-5 Minnesota Vikings.
Go Vikings.
I picked Dallas simply because it's another, as a Lions fan, I need Minnesota to lose if the Lions want any chance at making the playoffs. So,
and as a guy who's down 2 scores in the weekly picks rankings, I picked the Vikings.
I would love Dallas to win, just because of that.
I don't like Dallas.
Me either. I don't like Dallas. I probably
Dallas.
like Minnesota more than Dallas.
Oh,
honestly.
I easily do.
I mean, I don't like Minnesota just because they're in the NFC North.
Yeah, but I don't hate Minnesota.
I don't hate them, but I don't like them.
I really like Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook.
I don't.
Dalvin Cook's on my fantasy.
I respect Dalvin Cook. He's probably the best running back in the NFL.
Fantasy,
but
so I can't not like him.
Oh no, you're right. That's true. Yeah, fantasy connection hits different.
Yeah.
I had Zeke Elliott his rookie year, and I was a huge Zeke Elliott fan.
I'm the big.
And ever since he's been off my team, I've really not liked him.
Yeah.
You probably won't like Dalvin Cook next year.
Probably not.
Sunday Night Football, we have the 8-1 Kansas City Chiefs coming off of a bye, going to Las Vegas to try and get revenge against the Raiders. That's the Chiefs' only loss so far this year.
I don't think Kansas City will lose twice to these guys. I mean, they're good. Raiders are a good football team. They've shown. Yeah. Going to Kansas City.
I am going with the Raiders, man. I picked a lot of not upsets, just kind of surprise picks this week, and I don't know. I'm going with the Raiders. I don't know. I really don't know why. I just did. And then Monday Night Football, we have another. The primetime games are solid this week, by the way.
That's a big game.
Yeah, 6-3 Rams at the 7-3 Buccaneers.
I'm going with the Bucks.
I'm going with the Rams. We picked all 3 different ones, so we won't have to pick a single game for tiebreaker. But yeah, I went with the Rams. They had a huge win over Seattle, and Tampa Bay. Even though they killed Carolina, they still had that awful loss to New Orleans. I don't know how they're sitting with all that. It's just weird because they scored 3 points against New Orleans and scored 46 last week. So
Tampa's
they're weird. They're just weird,
and it's their whole roster is just top to bottom weird. They have more offensive weapons than anybody in the NFL right now.
Oh yeah,
and to score 3 points,
and that was AB that was his first game too. So are you ready to get into the power ranking?
Yeah.
All right. 32.
Dallas Cowboys. I'm playing. It's the Jets.
I was like, come on. Yeah, the Jets. I don't expect them to move when we do this in 3 weeks.
No.
0-9. Next, 31.
This is the Dallas Cowboys.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I put Jacksonville at 31. I put Dallas at 30.
I wish there was a way that we could measure whether our predictions are right or not, or going forward.
Yeah.
Jags my 30. So we just flip-flop those two.
29, I got the Texans.
I have the Texans.
Yeah. Like I said, this bottom one, I mean, there really isn't a lot to talk about with these teams.
Dude, I'm just looking at my list. I did not write the Broncos on here. I wrote Drew Lock.
What? 28, I have the Washington football team.
As do I.
27, I have the New York Giants.
Ooh. But the Giants have been looking good lately.
I mean, they beat the football team and the Eagles, 2 teams in their horrible division.
I put the Bengals that low.
I got the Bengals 1 spot higher at 26.
And 26,
just because I really think if the Bengals played the Giants, I would so take the Bengals.
Okay, and I see that. Yeah. 26, I've got the Eagles.
Interesting.
You got the Eagles higher?
I mean, not way higher, but
I mean, I don't have the Giants way
a couple
higher.
spots.
Yeah.
So we're at 25 now.
Yeah.
25. I have a team that I hate putting this low, man, but it's the LA Chargers. They're still my highest 2-win team though, because they're better than 2-7.
Oh, that's
they
right.
really are.
I've got them a lot higher because they're way better than 2-7.
Yeah, I know, but they're still 2-7 though.
Still,
they
really
can't
good
finish
football
game. No, I would not say really good
They're
football
a good
team.
football team.
You can't be 2-7 and
Good
be
football team. You're right. You're right.
better than their record shows, I would say.
25. I've got Drew Lock. Just him.
Yeah. 24, I have the Denver Broncos, 3-6, just because I mean they've been average with the injuries that they've been facing all year. That's kind of why I put them above
You got the Chargers a lot higher than you do.
Really?
Yeah. 24. I have the Panthers.
Because but the thing is, I understand they're better than 2-7, but they're still 2-7.
They still are,
they still can't finish football games, so you can't really have them higher than teams that can finish football games, I guess.
I mean, I've got we'll get to it. You're not going to like what I have.
I mean, you probably have them above the Lions or something, but
No, I have them above the Bears. Yeah.
dude, that's a little much. That's a little far.
But I don't know. I don't have the Bears high.
Well, yeah, I know, but okay. Anyways,
24, I've got the Panthers. I don't know if I said that.
yeah, you did.
23, I've got the Giants.
Okay, 23, I have Philly. So, like I said, I didn't have them that much higher, but
And honestly, all these bottom teams aren't good.
no, they're not. I mean, like I said, it's not that big of a deal. The difference here, it's just really much about the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I have Philly at 23.
At 22, I have the Chicago Bears. They have been in a slide.
Wow.
Lost 3 in a row.
Wow,
Don't look
22.
good. Dude, they've lost 3 in a row and haven't
they
looked
lost
good
4
once.
in a row?
Yeah, 4 in a row.
I think
now.
they've lost, yes, because they're 5-5 now.
They're bad.
Still though, they have 3 more wins than the Chargers.
Yeah, but they've also lost 4 in a row and badly.
The Chargers have lost multiple games in a row.
I guess,
they
but-
might have lost 4 in a row too.
At least they weren't more than a score. Bears look bad.
Yeah, I know, but that's I don't know. That might be a little bias. I got the Panthers at 22.
21, I'm not sure you'll like this one either because I don't know, I think you talk highly of this football team still. The 49ers at 21.
Yeah, that's a little low.
For you.
I just because for what they've had to deal with this year, injury wise, they're still 4-6 in easily the most loaded division in NFL. 4-6 honestly is pretty solid for what they have had to go through, I guess.
Who's your 21?
21 is the Atlanta Falcons for me. They're they start off the year 0-5 and they're 3-1 in their last 4.
Yeah,
so
they've been playing well.
they've been pretty solid.
At 20, I've got the Los Angeles Chargers.
Okay, yeah, you didn't have them extremely higher, I guess,
No.
but I got the Lions at 20.
Okay.
I the only reason I didn't have them above the Bears is because the Bears beat them. I mean, they haven't played twice yet, so.
Yep. 19, I've got the Lions.
Okay, 19, I have the New England Patriots at 19.
Okay.
4-5, coming off a big win, they would have been a lot lower if they'd have lost that game. So, shout out to them for winning that one.
18, I've got the Falcons.
18, I have the Bears. I have the Bears at 5-5. Yeah, I mean they're really just like we said, we knew it was gonna happen at some point. It finally did, and they're getting exposed. I'm not defending the Bears at all, saying they're good. I just think they are a little higher than 22 or whatever you had them at.
22, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think this is actually going to be the cutoff where we have the same top 16.
Well, you haven't said 17 yet.
I know. That's what I'm saying. 17, I've got the Patriots, who you already said.
Yeah. 17, I have the Minnesota Vikings.
I haven't said the Vikings yet.
Oh, yeah, because I haven't said San Francisco yet. 17, I got the Minnesota Vikings.
17, I've got the New England Patriots. 16, I've got the Minnesota Vikings.
16, I have the San Francisco 49ers.
Top
And then the top
15 is the
15 is
same.
just way different.
It's so hard.
But the thing is, the cutoff for me, I made the cutoff where I think it's contenders, teams that could make the Super Bowl. And I have it at 12. I think the top 12, are all contenders.
Oh, I think
this 15 through 13, these 3 teams
I don't think
can, but they're good teams, but I don't think they're Super Bowl.
No, and I agree with that. 15, I've got the Cleveland Browns.
I also have the Cleveland Browns at 15. I would like to see them make the playoffs. I really would, but I don't know if it's gonna happen.
Number 14,
I don't know.
I've got the Las Vegas Raiders.
I have the Miami Dolphins at 14, and I assume you have
13 Dolphins.
Yep, I have the Las Vegas Raiders at 13. I figured we'd have the same top 12 because
the top 12 is
top
so
12
different.
And here's the thing about the top 12. I'm going to try my best to not disagree with what you have to say here because 5 through 12, mainly 5 through 10 for me, but you can say 11 and 12 can be literally switched.
Dude, I think you're going to disagree with mine.
You can switch so many things here. Like it's actually crazy how like similar. There's so many teams here that are 6 and 3 or 7 and 3.
It's ridiculous how hard this
and
was.
I think we should have the same top 4. We really like maybe not in order, but the same top 4 teams. We really should.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's any debate.
We can talk about these teams a little more.
Yep.
Once we get to since it's the contenders that we believe. So
I don't think you'll like my number 12.
Okay.
Tennessee Titans.
I'm right there with you. I got the Tennessee Titans. That's what I'm saying. It's hard. Like the Titans I feel like aren't the 12th best team in football, but they really are. Like
and then my next one, I'm really I've been heavily considering.
Well, let's talk about the Titans for a second. Ryan Tannehill is having a pretty solid year, better than expected. Derrick Henry has obviously been a beast this year, but they have just had a couple games where their defense isn't looking very good, and they've had game against some pretty bad teams too. That the Texans game that they just and the Colts game they blew it. The Colts game was bad.
Yeah,
so,
they did not look good.
Yeah.
You ready to move on?
Yeah.
11. This hurts because I'm a fan of this team. I shouldn't say a fan. I like this team. This is the Seattle Seahawks. And I've got them so low. Russell Westbrook. Russell Wilson has 7. They have 7 turnovers in the last 2 games.
That's bad.
That's awful. I'm gonna put them at 11.
I have the Indianapolis Colts at 11. I just have them one spot above Tennessee simply because they dominated them in the second half. They scored bad. 24 straight, 21 straight, something like that against
held
the
them
Titans.
To 10.
Yeah. The Colts look pretty good, and after a loss against a good Ravens team, and it wasn't a blowout loss, it was a close game. Colts are a very solid team, and it just like I said, it sucks for me to put them really low because I really think that I think they're probably going to end up winning that division over the Titans if I had to predict.
I like Seattle a lot. I really like DK. I really, really like DK.
Yeah, I'll just say it right now. I have Seattle at 10.
I've got Colts at 10.
Yeah, it hurts for me to put Seattle at 10, man, because I was defending them super hard the last time we did these power rankings because I had them at number 2. But they have back-to-back losses. I think if they beat the Rams, it's a completely different story. They're probably number 5, honestly. They're probably in the top 5. But that was the part for me, the hardest part too, picking that 5th team. Because like I said, the top 4 are there. Picking the best one out of this 5 through 12, like who's the best one, that was hard for me.
Because you always talk about the top 5 teams in the NFL.
Yeah,
Who is that fifth
exactly.
one?
We always and when we do our power rankings on TikTok, we show the top 5. Maybe we should show the top 10 this week. I don't know. But one thing I want to talk about quick is the NFC playoff picture with mainly about the NFC West. With Seattle, Arizona, and LA Rams all at 6 and 3 right now. Obviously, 7 teams make the playoffs. And it looks like all 3 of these teams will probably make the playoffs with the Cardinals, Rams, and Seahawks. And then you look at who's going to be the other one out of the NFC, and it's going to be between the Saints and Bucks. So the only hope for the Lions because I really do think the Lions could end up as the number 2 in the NFC North when it's all said and done over the Bears or Vikings. But because obviously the NFC East isn't going to have anybody make a wild card spot. So the Lions really just need one of these 3 teams in the Seahawks, Cardinals, and Rams to just start to fall off.
And I just don't see it happening.
And the thing is, the team that we would need it to happen is the Cardinals because we have that win over the Cardinals. So if it comes down to where we have the same record, we would get in over them because we beat them. So I would hate to not root for them, but
because I like the Cardinals.
I do too. And that's why it's kind of why I picked Seattle on Thursday night because I have to make a commitment to,
I'm a Lions fan.
Honestly though, whoever loses this Thursday night game between the Seahawks and Cardinals,
I'm rooting against.
I have to root against them the rest of the year and hope that they lose because the Lions are in a really tough spot right now because one of these 3 teams has to start to do bad.
Yep.
Number 9.
This one was tough. This is the LA Rams for me. I've got them right at number 9.
I also got the LA Rams.
I like the Rams. I love Jalen Ramsey.
Me too.
He's the best corner in football, no question. Who's better?
Stephon Gilmore's still better.
No.
I know he's been out, but
let's say right now.
I'm taking Tre'Davious White from Buffalo over him all day.
Who did Stephon Diggs? He shut down Stephon Diggs 2 weeks ago.
Jalen Ramsey?
Yeah.
Probably. No, Jalen Ramsey's he's top 3.
I mean, DK and Stephon Diggs back-to-back weeks.
Slay's still so underrated. His stats have been nuts this year. He's just on a bad team.
Yeah,
but,
so you don't get any press.
the Rams, I put them just one spot above Seattle because they just beat them. So.
And that's what my thing was with the Hawks and Rams. My number 8, Baltimore Ravens.
Okay. Yeah. My number 8's a team that I feel like you're going to have much higher than me.
I already know who it is.
It's the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Oh, my God.
I got them at number 8. They had a big win last week, but against a team that I have ranked in the bottom 10 of the league, in the Carolina Panthers. And I know that loss against New Orleans was, it's 2 weeks ago now, but that was a really bad loss. That is one of losing by 30-some points on Monday Night Football or whatever it was.
It's also an anomaly.
Scoring 3 points. What do you mean?
I mean, it's Tom Brady's only game he's ever not thrown a touchdown in.
It's crazy.
He threw 3 picks. That just doesn't happen.
Exactly. It's just a crazy game. That's just wow, how does that happen? And Tampa, the only reason I have them lower than these other 3 teams, 5, 6, and 7, is because I just really think they are the most inconsistent out of these 3. You can make a case for another team on here, but they just have had several games where they have been I don't know if this team can make the Super Bowl or not.
And I get that.
And the other 3 teams, I don't know. Maybe I'm underestimating Tampa a little bit, but I got them at 8.
I've got Baltimore here lower than
at 8
because I just think, I don't know, they didn't look good in Foxborough.
That's a bad loss. I mean, that's a bad. I mean, they didn't get killed or nothing, but
they didn't look good.
It wasn't, and the thing is about the ball, I'm just going to say I got Baltimore at 7.
Okay.
The thing about that loss is I don't really want to say, I don't want to give excuses or anything, but did you get a chance to watch that game?
It was raining.
It was the worst weather that we've had in football probably in several years. I mean, it was like a tornado going on in the middle of the game. It was downpouring, and especially at the end of it really started. It was the worst weather was when the Ravens were on their final drive trying to score to send it to overtime or win the game. And they couldn't do nothing because it was so windy. They couldn't, and so rainy that they couldn't. I don't know. It was
so wouldn't you think that benefit New England?
Lamar dropped on the snap, literally fumbled the snap probably 10 times in that game, and so only I don't even think he fumbled the ball one time.
Don't you think that would benefit Lamar more than it would Cam? That'd benefit the Ravens.
Well, I'm saying it was the worst, though, at the end of the game when the Ravens were making their drive.
Yeah.
I do agree, though, because Lamar's more of a runner, obviously, and you can slip off of defenders when it's wet out and everything. But I was saying, we were talking about that, and I was just like, dude, if I was an offensive player 1, I would absolutely hate this right now. I would hate this. If I was on defense, I would be having the best day of my life.
Mm-hmm.
You can just go off of. You can just light up dudes. Yeah. You don't have to worry about a guy beating you and him throwing it 40 yards downfield. At least you shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got Baltimore at 7. Who do you got at 7?
My 7 is a team that I think you might be surprised about because logically it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Is the Arizona Cardinals? It doesn't make sense to have them lower than Buffalo. I do think Buffalo's a better team. That was an incredible play. I mean, literally an unbelievable play.
Yeah.
By D-Hop and Kyler. He threw that ball 60 yards.
Yeah. Falling to throwing across his body too. Not rolling out to the right, rolling to the left as a right-handed quarterback.
That's unbelievable. And I just don't think it's very. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to base their rankings off that one throw.
I'm the exact same way, man. I
really?
I really thought that you were going to be the other way around. I have. You just said Arizona was your 7, right?
Yeah, you got Arizona at 6.
I have Arizona at 6. Yeah.
Okay.
Arizona and who? I'm just gonna say it too. It's kind of obvious. I have Buffalo at 5.
Yep, and I've got Buffalo at 6 and Tampa at 5.
Yeah. Okay. I figured you would have Tampa at 5. But anyways. With Buffalo over Arizona, I really thought that you were gonna be like, "How can you take Buffalo over Arizona?" But I can. It was a good game, and Buffalo, they had that late score with 30 seconds left to give them the lead, and it looked like it was over.
A much more normal score.
Yeah, exactly. A normal ending. You thought that was the end. Obviously, they gave up that play, and you shouldn't never give up that play, but. There isn't many guys in the history of the NFL that can make that play like DeAndre Hopkins did, to go up and get that ball over three guys. I can't name many guys. Calvin Johnson would be one of them, though.
Mm-hmm.
But like I still can't take the. I'm not saying like the Bills outplayed Arizona that whole game and then Arizona got lucky off that last play.
That's not the case.
That's not what happened, but like that's why I didn't separate Buffalo and Arizona. Like I had to put them next, like one right above the other one. I had to just because of, and I just was thinking about it. Like Buffalo had a big win against Seattle the previous week, last week, and then Arizona was coming off of a loss against the Dolphins. That's kind of what was the factor to me, is that Buffalo beat Seattle pretty handily the week before. So that's why I picked Buffalo over Arizona.
And I said my reason.
Yeah.
And Tampa at 5 for me is just, I think they're a really good football team.
They are, and that's the thing. Like me having them at 8 isn't saying they're not a good team.
You said the top 12 can make Super Bowl.
Exactly.
And like you said, you held that bad loss a little more in your head than I did. I don't know what the word I'm trying to look for. You held that more weight.
No, I get what you're saying.
You have more weight on that loss than I do, because I just think it's not realistic for it to ever happen again for Tom Brady.
Never know.
I mean, he can't control the defense.
Yeah.
I mean, 49 points is 49 points. So, any big news? No?
No, I was just, that's what I was checking on.
Ready for our top 4?
Ready for the top 4. I feel like we're going to have the same order.
I think so.
I think so. Number 4, I got the Packers.
No. Number 4, I got the Saints.
Oh, okay. I got the Packers. You know, they looked really bad last week, man, against the Jacksonville Jaguars, the second worst team in football in my eyes. A team that hasn't won a game since week 1, and they about lost to them. That is a little concerning. I know it's just 1 week and everything, but the Jacksonville doesn't even have Gardner Minshew.
See, I think it's more of a mental thing going into a bad team like that.
No, it is, because like you think you're just gonna kill them automatically.
Especially if you have like Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Like you're just assuming.
But I mean, like I said, they're still number 4. That's not a diss at all. You got the Saints at 4.
Yeah, and the Saints, I have the Saints at 4 just because I'm not sure. Like we do this right now. Right now they are. I still think they're the 4th best team. I still think the Packers are better. The Packers have looked unbelievable all year. Except for what
I think the Packers, did they beat New Orleans earlier in the year? Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and
that's one of New Orleans' losses. Yeah,
I mean, these two teams have looked really good, and they've had their ups and downs. I just think the Packers have been playing great, and that's why I got the Packers at 3.
See, that's why I have New Orleans at 3, because New Orleans hasn't looked bad in a while. They've looked good consistently for probably about 5 weeks now. They've looked really good. Ever since that loss to Green Bay, they really haven't slowed down. So that's kind of why I took them over Green Bay, just because Green Bay had that game last week was just like, and they lost to Minnesota the week before. You know, they've had 2 consecutive weeks now where it's like, all right, what's going on here? Like, are they pretenders, or what's going on?
Whose is that? Who's the pretenders or contenders?
That's just, I don't know who came up with that, but
Colin Cowherd. I think it's Colin Cowherd.
Probably. So I assume you have
Green Bay at 3.
Yeah,
and you have Saints at 3.
Yep, and then 2 and 1 should be the same.
No, I was hesitant, but no.
I had a feeling you were going to take Kansas City over Pittsburgh.
No, I told you this like 2 weeks ago that I'm not. Kansas City is number 2. Pittsburgh is number 1.
Yep, same way for me. At this point, last time you could make the argument that you can't put Pittsburgh at 1, but this you can't argue that Pittsburgh can't be number 1.
I still think if these two teams play, Pittsburgh is not the favorite.
I really don't know. I mean, that is an interesting take. I was thinking about that recently, and it's interesting.
Like, I still think Kansas is the favorite.
I don't know who I would pick. I really don't know who I'd pick.
I'd pick Kansas. I do know who I'd pick. I would pick Kansas.
I don't know.
I can't call them Kansas.
I know. I just saying Kansas. I'm like, what the hell?
That don't work.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for our power ranking. We had the same top 4, or I guess we really didn't have the same top 4, but yeah. So, but quick before we end the episode, I do want to talk about the draft a little bit more. It is 6:20 now, so the draft starts in a little over an hour and a half. Easton, do you want to name just a couple guys who you are like high on in this draft that maybe not everyone knows about as much as the top main guys?
So obviously, like
sleepers, you could say.
Isaac Okoro, I think he is awesome. I could see him coming in and making a huge impact right away with his defensive ability. I'm not high on Cole Anthony, but I like Cole Anthony. I like his attitude. I like the way he carries himself on the court. He's got a swagger to him.
He does have a swag. He has like he really fits a team like the Knicks.
Yeah, you can't teach that.
No.
That don't get taught. You are bred that way.
Yeah.
I love that swagger. Other sleeper guys, I'm not a big fan of Obi Toppin. You are very big fan of Obi Toppin.
I'm not a big fan. I just think he's going to be good.
I like Denny Avdija.
I think he's one of the most talented players in the draft.
Denny Avdija has only been sliding on these lists of down. And Tyrese Halliburton I like a lot.
Yeah, we've talked about Halliburton. I'm huge on Halliburton. Another guy that I am is more of a sleeper guy is Aaron Nesmith from Vanderbilt. I talked about him when we did our mock draft, which was been a while ago. Now. Back in October. No, that was back in like August, right? Because the draft lottery was back in August.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That was 3 months ago. And now we're like, we should have done an official mock draft today. But I hate doing a mock draft though when we don't know, because trades are going to happen.
Yeah, something's going to happen.
And and so like we can go back and react to that. We can do that on Saturday. We can react to our mock draft that we made, our lottery draft. I had Aaron Nesmith in that going to the Kings at 11 or 12, whatever pick they have. I love Aaron Nesmith. He's a guy who can just straight up go out there and score the ball. Fantastic shooter. The defense is a question, but he can make an impact right away. Another guy who I really like is, I think Tyrese Maxey is kind of, being slept on.
I like Tyrese Maxey.
He was a guy who was supposed to be like a top 7 pick when the college basketball was going on. He's kind of fell off ever since college, got canceled and everything, and he's fallen to more of a mid first round guy. I don't know. I like Tyrese Maxey's game a lot. And another guy, this is super biased, but
I was waiting
Cash
for
Winston,
it.
man.
I was waiting for it.
I really do think Cash Winston could be a good role player in the NBA. It's it's like I said, it is really biased. Obviously, I think he's going to be good, but he's just a leader. I mean, he for 4 years at Michigan State, especially his last 2 years, he was the leader of the team. Took him to the Final Four as a junior, and senior year, I would have expected nothing less than the Elite Eight. So
let's go. Let's do a floor and ceiling for Cassius Winston, because I have a guy I think is his ceiling.
Okay.
Floor, I honestly think is out of the league. Just not playing.
Definitely floor is out of the league. Yes, because he's a late first round, early second round pick.
Ceiling, I've got Rajon Rondo.
Okay. I don't know if that's a kind of a high ceiling though, like prime Rondo or like today Rondo.
Like today Rondo.
Okay. My ceiling for Cassius Winston is like, my ceiling is like George Hill.
Okay, I like that.
A guy who could
Rondo
just
might be a little too good
a good
defense.
shooter, a good play. I mean, Cassius Winston can knock down the shot. He is a fantastic playmaker. I mean, he has some of the best court vision I've ever seen out of a college basketball player. And he like you said, the defense. He's smaller. I mean, he's 6 foot tall. He's 6'1".
Kind of sluggish.
Yeah. He'll take plays off on defense, but when you're fighting for an NBA roster spot, I feel like that will change a little bit than when you're the number one guy on your college team. I think George Hill is probably a good one for me.
I like that.
Any other guys who you are like, any guys like sleeper type guys that not many people know about really that you like?
I'm not coming off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any guys I'm thinking of. I like Kyra Lewis Jr., point guard from Alabama. I like him a lot. There's a lot of guys that I'm just like, I've been doing a lot of draft research within the past like week or two, just about sleepers pretty much. That's kind of just what I've been looking at. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
I can't really think of anything. No more trades have happened other than the Al Horford one that happened mid podcast, early podcast. If you are still listening to this point, thank you very much. I just want to say me and Easton hit our total downloads, our 1,000th download milestone like last week. And that is just a huge accomplishment for me and Easton, who we've been doing this for over a year now. And I didn't even think we'd be doing this today,
exactly.
for over a year. And it's just, I don't know. It's really makes me happy to think that we actually have people that watch us that just aren't our friends anymore. It used to just be, I'd have to remind our friends, hey, go listen to our podcast. Yeah. And now it's just like, people ask me about my podcast and they're asking me what my family members are that I'd never think would. So
it's huge. I mean, this is a huge, to say that like a year ago, we would have still been doing it, like upgrading our equipment and really working towards something that's huge. And just recently, we've been pulling a lot more views lately.
Yeah.
I mean, we started off a long time getting not very many. And except for episode 13.
We have a random one that blew up for some reason.
We can't pinpoint which episodes are going to do well.
I know.
We can't figure it out.
If you saw us on TikTok, follow us on TikTok, because we had one video got like 20,000 views the other day, and we still have like 30 followers on TikTok.
How does that work?
Give us some follows, man. Let's get to 100 followers on TikTok. And we're going to make a bunch of TikToks right now to post throughout the week until Saturday. So, yeah, like I said, thank you guys so much for listening. We love doing this. And it's only going to get better from here because we're going to have so much to talk about in the future with, the NBA offseason finally here. NFL playoffs are coming up and the NBA season starts.
College basketball
starts a week from today.
Yeah.
The NBA season starts in a little over a month. I mean, it is going to be awesome.
Awesome.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Peace.